Chapter 9 Dinner Date. The drive to wherever he was taking me was in silence. Aaron focused on driving, cutting off the car through heavy traffic while I looked outside, the street lamps lighting up the road. There were times when I felt him staring at me, but whenever I turned to look, his eyes were on the road ahead. He stopped the car outside a very expensive-looking Italian restaurant. I never visited here but have heard of people booking months before for a single table. Aaron stepped out, came to my side and opened the door for me like a true gentleman. As I moved out, a man came and took the keys from Aaron for parking his car. Aaron placed his hand on my waist and started moving inside when I stopped him. "We won't get a table here that easily, I've heard." He cut me off. "We can't say that without trying, can we? He raised his brows. "I just know we won't. Let's go somewhere else." I tried to convince him. I didn't want him to take me to a place this rich. I know he is a multi-billionaire. He is filthy rich, but I would have enjoyed if he took me to a small cozy restaurant as well. "It's okay, dear. Let's see if we find a table in there." He smiled and took me in. I looked around as we entered and suddenly felt out of place. Everyone was dressed so elegantly. Women wearing expensive gowns and dresses while I was wearing just a simple sundress. Aaron sensed my uneasiness and gave an assuring look. A man dressed in a nice suit came to Aaron and greeted him. He then turned to me and gave a slight nod. It seemed Aaron comes here often and probably knows this man since a long time. He showed us our table and excused himself. "See, we got a table." Aaron half smiled, looking at me. "It seems you know that man quite well," I said, not sure of what to talk. "Yeah, he's the manager over here and a friend of mine." Just then a waiter in his late 20s came to take our orders. "You look beautiful, miss," he said in a flirty tone. I don't know why, but it felt very awkward. Aaron cleared his throat, grabbing the waiter's attention. He gave a nod to Aaron and asked for our orders. I was not sure of what to order, so Aaron did it for me. One Bartolo Mascarello Canubi, some zucchini and onion frittata for me, and some fennel gratin for the lady. I've never heard of these names before. I just hope it tastes good. The waiter, before leaving, turned to me and gave a strange smile, then left to bring our food. I sat there looking anywhere but Aaron. I was not used to going out with men and having dinner. The only men I usually go out with are Dad and Dylan. But they don't count, do they? It was after some time when I realized we were seated much away from other people. I was about to ask Aaron when I noticed he was staring at me. Even though he saw I noticed him, he didn't move away his eyes. I shifted awkwardly under his gaze as he continued to look at me without blinking his eye. I looked down at my hands on my lap to hide the blush that crept on my cheeks. I was not used to this. All my life I've heard my family calling me ugly and a disgrace, but today the way he was looking at me made me feel beautiful. The same waiter came back with our orders and placed them on the table. Aaron finally looked away. Then the man opened the wine bottle and poured it in 2 glasses. Turning towards me, he looked at me from head to toe and smirked. "Derek, you're fired." Aaron snapped. The waiter looked at him in horror but left with a nod when Aaron gave him a "get the hell out of here" glare. "Hey, you can't do that. I know he was a bit creepy, but it's his job, and you can't fire him." I tried to defend the poor man. "Of course I can. I don't pay my staff to flirt with visitors here," he answered in a calm tone, sipping his wine. "You could have left him with a warn." "Wait, your staff? You own this place?" I looked at him with wide eyes and he just smiled. I realized how big of a fool I have made of myself. At first, I thought we won't get a table here. Then I thought he got it because the manager was his friend. How can I forget he is the Aaron Woodwards, who bought up the entire area near my cafe? I started eating the food in front of me, not wanting to look at him after my little discovery. How much more stupid can I get in front of him? The food he ordered was delicious and I focused on it until he spoke. "Tell me more about yourself." I looked at him with a questioning face as he sat back calmly waiting for my answer. "Like what?" I asked. "The award for the stupidest creature in this universe goes to Caroline Marshall." "Anything about yourself other than being the most gorgeous woman?" he smirked while I turned into a bright shade of red. "Well, you already know about my family. My father, That I do," he cut me in between. By the way his tone changed on mentioning about Dad, it seemed he doesn't like my father much. "Why? I'll ask later if I ever got a chance. Tell me about you, Caroline. I'm not interested in your family. Tell me about you, your hobbies, your likes, anything but about you," he said, looking straight into my eyes. "He wants to know about me, but is there really anything to tell?" "No, nothing. I don't have an interesting life like Lahaina's or a crazy one like Nadia's. I don't have anything to tell about me. My hobbies? Do I even have any? Yes, I remember I used to love reading and painting with my mom, but after that horrible night, everything changed. I lost everything the night I lost my mom. I have spent most of my time behind the locked doors of my room crying. There is nothing to tell. I don't have a life. Caroline, what happened? I heard Aaron's concerned voice. I looked up at him and realized I forgot that I was still with him. Yeah, just some memories. Well, answering your earlier question, I like to paint and read a bit. I finally answered. He must have sensed my uneasiness talking of myself because he changed the topic after that. We talked about different things like politics, business, sports and much more. This man is a complete genius. The way he talked about any topic so intellectually, as if he has done a PhD in almost everything. At first, I was a bit intimidated by him and his personality. Who wouldn't be? We finished our dinner and he dropped me home. The entrance door was still locked, meaning Dad has not yet returned from the party. I sighed. I stepped out of the car and turned towards Aaron. Thank you for such a wonderful evening, I smiled. The pleasure was all mine, he said as he too came out of his car. He walked near me and placed his hand on my waist, pulling me closer to him. His face came closer to mine, so slowly. It felt as if it was all happening in slow motion. Was he going to kiss me? I tried to step back, but my legs didn't move. His closeness was doing something to me which I can't explain in mere words. His face came dangerously close to mine and I squeezed my eyes shut. He kissed my cheeks and stepped back. Was I disappointed? Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. Hell yes. Just shut up, inner voice. I am not disappointed. Okay. I am not. Liar. Shut up, inner voice. Good night, Caroline, he said with a smirk. Why was he smirking? Can he hear my inner voice? No way. Good night, I said, more like whispered, and literally ran inside. Switching on the lights, I looked out from my window as he drove off. Hello, lovely readers. How was the chapter? If you have any questions, you can ask and clear your doubts. This is important, so please read. I will not be able to update till maybe November 21st because I have tests, so please understand. But I will try. If I get time, I will definitely update a chapter or two. Don't forget to vote, comment and share. A circumflex trademark sign. Love you all, guys. A circumflex trademark sign. Chapter 10. For the last time. As Aaron's car vanished in the darkness of the night, I thought about my evening with him. It was my first date and I loved every moment of it. I wish I could spend some more time with him. Hold on, Caro. What the hell are you even thinking? Remember, you promised yourself not to do the same mistake your mom did? Yeah, I know, but there is something in him that draws me closer. I don't know how, or why, but maybe I like him. The front door burst open and in came a very angry stepsister, followed by my stepmom and dad. Lahaina was fuming in anger. Her face turned red. She saw me standing there but ignored and yelled, "You said he'll be there." He was supposed to be there. I don't know why he didn't turn up. You even talked to Ethan, so don't overreact. Dad tried to calm her down. It was me who spent hours in getting ready for him, not you, she shouted, throwing her hands up in the air. Is there any possibility they are talking of the same him I'm thinking him to be? Don't talk to me like that, girl. Dad raised his voice, giving her a death glare. Shut the hell up. If you really want his money, it's important for me to meet him. If I back out, you're done. She snapped back at him. Lahaina, sweetheart, Aaron must have been busy somewhere and your dad told you he already had a talk with Ethan. Don't worry, he's all yours, she said and dragged Lahaina with her to her room. Yeah,